Good afternoon. Welcome to Nationwide on the NTA. My name is Ogochkuka Ona. To hasten relief efforts for victims of the devastating floods, as well as for health and agricultural sectors reforms, the Nigerian government has secured a $600,000 relief fund from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The donation was announced when Vice President Kashim Shettima held a meeting with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, led by its head of Global Development Program, Dr. Christopher Elias, on the sidelines of the 79th United Nations General Assembly in New York. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Specifically, the foundation pledges the $600,000 for flood relief in Borno State and other health sector initiatives, with an additional $5 million grant approved for Lagos Business School and partners to develop the agricultural economics of industrial cassava. Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima reaffirmed the commitment of the present administration to placing health, nutrition and agricultural development at the forefront of the nation's national agenda, emphasizing the Nigerian government's dedication to integrity and effective leadership in tackling these issues, pointing out that there is an urgency in securing locations for maize production under the Tele-Maize program. Promising swift action on the import permit for certified seeds, the Vice President said government has recognized the critical importance of food security and industrial agricultural development, and the Cassava Accelerator program, in particular, holds immense potential for economic growth. President of the Global Development Program at the Gates Foundation, Dr. Christopher Elias, said the foundation is deeply worried about the severe flooding in Borno and is committed to supporting Nigeria in times of crisis. The foundation also pledged support for Nigeria's health sector reforms, particularly in the fight against polio. Also, President of the Global Growth and Opportunity Division at the Bills and Melinda Gates Foundation, Roger Voris, detailed plans for scaling up drought-tolerant maize production and advancing the Nigerian Cassava Investment Accelerator program. He requested import permits for 5,000 metric tons of certified maize seed to build a foundation seed system in the country. Meanwhile, the chairman Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, also paid a courtesy call on Vice President Kashim Shettima. From New York, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
And Vice President Kashim Shettima has welcomed ExxonMobil's proposed $10 billion investment in Nigeria's deepwater oil operations, describing it as a clear testament to the administration's economic reforms and investment-friendly policies. This is coming during a high-level meeting with the ExxonMobil executives on the sidelines of the ongoing 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, United States. Again, State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
This potential investment aligns with the Tinubu administration's vision for a more investment-friendly Nigeria. Vice President Kashim Shettima explains President Tinubu administration's effort in ensuring ease of doing business in Nigeria, highlighting recent policy changes to unify the exchange rate, remove fuel subsidy, and implement tax reforms. Addressing the specific concerns of the oil and gas sector, the Vice President said the goal is to strike a balance between attracting investment and ensuring fair returns for the Nigerian people. Chairman and Managing Director of ExxonMobil affiliates in Nigeria, Shane Harris, reaffirmed the company's commitment to investing in Nigeria. The centerpiece of ExxonMobil's new strategy is the Owo project, a substantial subsea tieback that could represent a $10 billion investment. Meanwhile, the international maritime giant DP World has announced plans to develop a multi-billion-dollar port project in Nigeria. Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, the group chairman, revealed the company's intention during a courtesy visit to Vice President Kashim Shettima On the sidelines of the ongoing United Nations General Assembly in New York, the proposal comes as a direct response to President Tinubu's drive and effort to improve the ease of doing business in the country. The DP World Chief expressed confidence in the Nigerian economy, citing the country's vast import and export market as a key factor in their decision to invest. Vice President Kashim Shettima said the proposal is a testament and commitment to attracting foreign investment to Nigeria. He assured the investors of the government's full support and the administration's dedication to facilitating foreign investment and economic growth. From New York, Abraham Jubrila, NTA News.
And still from New York, the First Lady of the United States, Jill Biden, has bid farewell to visiting First Ladies from other nations, including the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, at the 79th United Nations General Assembly. Jill Biden, who hosted the First Ladies to a launch, described her interactions with them as impactful. The launch, she notes, will be the last she will be hosting as the First Lady of the United States during UNGA. She, however, says the bond they have forged over the years in their struggle to promote peace in the world and attract development to their respective countries will continue beyond next year, January, when she is expected to vacate as the First Lady of the United States.
So those are the kind of friendships that this group forges. These powerful connections we carry with us wherever we go. And as I look around today at all of you, I feel so much gratitude. In your homes and your cities and at summits, you've shown me your hearts. And I hope that you've seen mine in return. Being a first spouse is a unique experience, and I'm honored to have walked this journey with all of you. So as I begin to build my next chapter, I hope that we can stay in touch. And when there are ways that I can help lift up your work or be your partner, please don't hesitate to call me. To our partnership, may it continue to help all people flourish in the world. To our friendships, may they shine no matter the distance between us. Make us smile even when we're apart. And may their warmth remind us that on the path of peace, we never walk alone. Cheers. I love you all.
Launch events are common on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly, serving as platforms for world leaders and their delegations to hold bilateral talks, forge partnership, and strengthen diplomatic ties. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu attended the launch held at Pier 57, New York, as one of the events marking the end of our engagements and participation at the 79th session of UNGA. And back here, the leadership of the National Assembly has inaugurated newly appointed Chief Commissioner and other commissioners designates of the Public Complaints Commission, charging them on the mandate of ensuring justice is served to both the poor and the rich. National Assembly correspondent Joshua Ogunjide has details.
The moment stakeholders believe embodies the essence of the National Assembly's commitment to transparency, accountability, and justice. Not just about taking oath of allegiance, but a matter of founding worthy Nigerians, fit in character and pedigree in undertaking national assignment.
We expect this current Public Complaints Commission to borrow a leaf from Bob Man and be involved in investigative actions designed to expose the sore points of our nation's social, economic, and political lives.
We intend to facilitate this by ensuring that the Senate and House committees on public petitions work closely with the PCC in reviewing these trends and translating them into actionable legislative and policy changes.
The Public Complaint Commission is established as a vital institution for safeguarding the right and interests of our citizens, as well as addressing our grievances against any institution in Nigeria.
The 10th National Assembly is committed to building on the gains by prioritizing its strategic legislative actions to address bottlenecks, which include administrative delay, inadequate resources and funding.
I can assure you, sir, that nothing will be left unturned as far as our assignment or objectives of this commission is concerned.
To try and look into public complaints from public and also organizations, whether private or public organization. And we have to do it with the fear of God.
From the National Assembly, Joshua Oguchide, NTA News.
We'll be going over to Lagos now, and Hingino is there for more stories on Nationwide today. Hello, Hingino. What's trending there?
Thank you, Ugochikuka, and welcome to Lagos. The deployment of technology and profiling of risk analysis through shared intelligence is assisting law enforcement agencies to reduce the supply chain of drugs while apprehending smugglers. The controller of the Federal Operations Unit Zone A, Kola Oladeji, said this is simplifying its anti-smuggling drive, which has resulted to the seizure of 6,490 kilograms of cannabis sativa within 5 months. At the handing over of the drugs with street value of close to 520 million naira to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, the customs said it will continue to be a dependent ally in the fight against drugs. Michael Olale reports.
Quantity is 6,488 kilograms.
Yet another opportunity to renew the long-existing synergy, which has been instrumental to not just checking smuggling, but nipping importation of illicit substances in the bud. The signing of dotted lines signaling the handing over of these 6,490 kilograms of cannabis sativa to the NDLEA offered opportunity to strengthen intelligence, matching the supply network of the drug barons. And for the controller of the Federal Operations Unit Zone A, it is a collective effort considering the negative effect of drug on the society.
I want to caution the youths and traders who are involved in the distribution and sale of illicit drugs are not only putting their lives at risk, but also jeopardizing the safety and security of our society, such as a whole. Therefore, we must all take a strong stand against the trade in illicit drugs and work towards creating a drug-free environment.
Visibly excited with the seizure, especially as it aligns with the core mandate of reducing the supply of drug, the Deputy Commander of the Lagos Command is optimistic that the 4 suspects received from the customs will aid its investigation.
If you allow what I'm seeing at my back over here to be in circulation here in Nigeria, as it has multiplier effect on human and economy and whatever thing you may be thinking of, it should not go down well for this country.
Beyond this exercise, both agencies agreed to raise the bar on awareness about the dangers of drug abuse while strengthening shared intelligence. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
Nigeria is strengthening interagency collaboration to guarantee safety of its maritime domain as part of measures to fully harness the potential of the blue economy. Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Boyega Oyetola, represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry at the 2024 commemoration of the World Maritime Day, says the government will continue to implement reforms that will help Nigeria keep pace with the international community. While acknowledging that safety cannot be overemphasized, the minister notes that criminal activities along the nation's maritime domain, especially the Gulf of Guinea, have been curtailed.
Safety and security are basic necessities for the maritime industry, and we are most grateful that the International Maritime Organization has deemed it fit to refocus attention on safety with the commemoration of the day this year. The ministry is paying particular attention to this, and with its agency is driving a robust agenda to turn things around and make sure
that accidents and incidents in our territorial waters becomes a thing of the past.
Part of the changing narrative of the maritime sector is modernization of various maritime infrastructure, especially the ports, which has eliminated needless congestion.
We are doing very well. The Ministry of Blue Economy emphasizes on the safety, especially in NIMASA and NTA. They are taking it very serious, and NIMASA is taking the lead as well because they are the agency for safety, and likewise all other agencies under the Marine and Blue Economy.
Apart from revenue increase, preservation of the ecosystem is also an issue that gained attraction. Those are the stories from Lagos. Nationwide continues in our Sokoto Network Center after this break.
In Sokoto. Resolved by the Nigerian Air Force to operationalize its units in Sokoto State is a clear demonstration of the Nigerian Air Force's unwavering commitment in the fight against banditry and criminality in the Northwest. Governor of Sokoto State Ahmed Aliyu made the remarks while receiving a letter of request from the Nigerian Air Force seeking the state government support to facilitate its operations in the region. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports.
The visit to the government house Sokoto by the Director Works Nigerian Air Force Headquarters, Air Commodore Haruna Badamasi, came weeks after a series of visits by the Minister of State for Defense Bello Mohammed, Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Gwabi Musa, and other service chiefs, all with the aim of tackling escalating security challenges in the Northwest region. Governor Ahmed Ali reassured that Sokoto State government is always ready to collaborate with the Nigerian Armed Forces and other security agencies in ensuring security in the state, and pledges to carefully study the letter by the Nigerian Air Force and act positively to provide the needed facilities to facilitate their operations.
Security is everyone's concern because nothing can be achieved without security. That's why security is number one in my 9-point innovative agenda.
Head of the delegation, Director of Operations and Commander 119 Composite Group, Nigerian Air Force Sokoto, revealed that by operationalizing the Sokoto unit, more facilities are needed to realize the purpose of the defense headquarters.
Anytime there's any event around this area, aircraft are dispatched from Katsina, the response time is very minimal. So operationalizing Sokoto will help quench all these activities.
By the time the unit becomes operational, vehicles, unmanned, and fighter aircrafts can fly directly from Sokoto for offensive against bandits in their enclaves. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
The Technical Committee of Nigeria COVID-19 Action Recovery and Stimulus NG Cares Program has commended efforts of Sokoto State Government in engaging communities before embarking on the execution of rural access roads across the state. This came to the fore during the committee's inspection visit to ongoing projects in some communities in Kwari and Wamoko local government areas. Elata Abdullahi completes the report.
It is a sigh of relief to the agrarian communities of More, Bodau, Korfi, Kaurar Korfi, Wajaki, and several other villages in Kwari and Wamoko local government areas as construction of access roads linking these communities is underway. The projects are joint efforts between the NGKS program and Sokoto state government to address the perennial challenge the communities are facing in transporting their agricultural produce from their farms. The NGKS delegation extolled the community-led approach employed by a Sokoto state government that is focused on inclusive development of communities.
It looks like a good collaboration. I hope everything goes well at the end of the day, and we hope for more joint collaborations, that will ease the sufferings of Nigerians and the people of Sokoto in particular.
The benefiting communities who express gratitude for the gesture that they believe will bring positive development pledge to safeguard the projects after completion through establishment of management committees.
This road, if completed, it will link us with our neighbors and some other villages. So we thank God.
On completion, the road projects will facilitate access to farms for the wet and dry season farming, activities and prevent post-harvest losses. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And those are the news updates from Sokoto. It's now back to Abuja for more nationwide.
Thank you, Sadia, for your contributions. And our governors from southern Nigeria are intensifying collaboration with traditional rulers to foster peace, unity, and engender development across the region. Governor Abiodun, who is the chairman, Southern Governors Forum, stated this while receiving members of the technical committee of the Southern Nigeria Traditional Rulers Council. Hakim Jimo reports.
Members of the Traditional Council are in Ogun State to brainstorm on common issues bordering on relationship, economic cooperation, security of lives and property in southern Nigeria. The leadership of the council, while underscoring the role of traditional institutions in nation building, urged Nigerians to exercise more patience with the federal government, assuring of a better tomorrow.
We issue statements calling for peace and asking people to be nice and give the government time.
We will work with the Southern Governors Forum to make our own contributions in every sector of the economy.
We want unity, we want peace, we want to make sure that our interests are well protected.
Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun acknowledges the pivotal roles of traditional institutions in the country.
Your roles as traditional rulers have a significant impact on the peace, security, prosperity of the southern states.
Governor Abiodun also commended the federal government for the award of contract for the construction of the all-important Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. In Abeokuta, Hakim Jimo, NTA News.
INEC has presented certificate of return to the governor-elect of Edo State, Monday Okpebholo, at its national headquarters in Abuja. INEC National Commissioner, Professor Rhoda Gomes, also presented certificate of return to the Deputy Governor-elect, Dennis Idahosa.
I feel very happy because Edo has spoken, and now for me to go and do the work for them. That is what they elected me to do, and that is what I'm going to do.
You know, we now have a governor who will respect our traditional institution, which is the heart of our culture. For me, this is what excites Edo people.
We have recovered our state, so we are so happy, especially that our governor-elect is an experienced politician, a distinguished senator who has a blueprint for the development of Edo State, and we assure you, you will see great changes.
With this presentation, the governor-elect and the deputy governor-elect will be sworn in November this year. And now talking health, about 11 persons are reported to have lost their lives following a suspected cholera outbreak in the Bokote village in Eza, Inyimago, in Izi local government area of Ebonyi State. Speaking during the rapid response at Iziogo Health Center, the Ebonyi State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Moses Ekuma, who confirmed the cholera outbreak, said about 20 affected persons were responding to medical treatment as a result of the outbreak. He added that Governor Francis Nwifuru has approved funds to procure medical commodities for the outbreak. He also advised the public to take precautionary measures against the disease. The ECOWAS Commission has sympathized with the federal government over the flood disaster in Borno and Bauchi states. The ECOWAS Commissioner for Human Development and Social Affairs, Professor Fatou Sar, announced a donation of 640 million naira for the states during a visit to the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation in Abuja. Ruth Agwele reports.
As flooding continues to wreak havoc on communities, with many counting their losses, rebuilding communities and restoring livelihoods is top priority for authorities concerned. This visit by the ECOWAS Commission is to commiserate with the federal government over the flood disaster in Borno and Bauchi states and announce its gesture of a donation of 320 million naira each to the two states. This is to aid humanitarian response and restore livelihoods of the affected population.
And I am honored to note that the ECOWAS Commission will present checks for response to the flood disaster, mindful that the select population is only a minute set within the larger persons of concern, but hopeful that the impact will be significant.
The ministry, while appreciating the gesture by the Commission, also appealed for more support to be extended to other states affected by disaster to help them build their resilience.
We look forward to that gesture translated into real action, and that is for us to have the amount that has been promised in good time so that we can use it to supplement what has been done already. I want to assure you that we shall do our best to utilize the funds.
As both parties look forward to the actualization of the gesture, it is hoped that it will go a long way in ameliorating the plight of those concerned. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
And similarly, Borno State government is taking proactive steps to rebuild flood-affected communities and critical infrastructure, addressing the devastating impact of the floods. Commissioner of Works and Housing, Mustapha Gubio, led a team of principal officers on an inspection tour to assess damage to roads, bridges and houses in Maiduguri and surrounding communities. Abubakar Musa reports.
The inspection of critical infrastructure destroyed by flood comprising Lagos, Gwenge and Fori bridges, as well as houses and tarred roads, including underpass at custom area by the Borno State Commissioner of Works and Housing, Mustapha Gubio, alongside Permanent Secretary, Directors and Special Advisor to Governor Zulum on Works, is a deliberate effort aimed at coming up with a blueprint towards making recommendations to government on how best to carry out immediate intervention.
The damage is so devastating. Inshallah, we are going to write the report to His Excellency so that we can now sit down and discuss on how to make permanent solution to this problem of flooding, and then we now embark on the permanent repairs of our roads and bridges.
The Works Ministry had earlier carried out palliative measures on all the affected roads and bridges towards making the facilities accessible for movement of goods and services, hoping to provide durable solutions soon. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Musa, NTA News.
And we'll now be joining Abubakar live in Maiduguri to speak more on these steps to address these flood challenges. Hello, Abubakar. You can tell us a little more on this.
All right, thank you very much, Ogochukwuka. What you've heard in that report is part of the commitment of the Borno State government to assist those badly affected by the flood crisis that was experienced in Maiduguri and environs. Aside that, the 35-member Flood Relief Disbursement Committee has already swung into action in earnest as it has started distributing food and non-food items, to the people. The non-food items comprised mats, blankets and mattresses to those in dire need of, assistance who have been categorized into three for the sake of transparency and accountability.
So, how are the people feeling at this time?
The confidence reposed in them because they are all people of proven integrity. Also, Borno State government, as at today, has released the sum of 7.5 billion. The exercise. This is actually geared towards ensuring that the desired result is achieved in the long run, particularly in terms of rebuilding destroyed structures and restoration of means of livelihood of the people.
Thank you very much, Abubakar, for that. I will keep tab on the development. All right, now we'll be going over to Makurdi now for more reports, and Fatima Hassan is our guide. Hello, Fatima, you are on.
And welcome to Makurdi. 4 emergency camps have been designated in the Benue South Senatorial District by the Technical Committee on Mitigation and Response to accommodate victims of flood disaster. Elia TTR reports that the camps are located in Otukpo, Apa, and Agatu local government areas of the state.
The camps designated by the Technical Committee for the 2024 Flood Preparedness, Mitigation and Response are the Chidoma Square and St. Francis Primary School in Otukpo local government area. Others are the Metro Park Ipiku in Apa and the Methodist Primary School Ogam in Agatu local government areas respectively. Chairman of the 2024 Technical Committee on Flooding, who is a Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Andros Ikumbi, urged the people living in flood-prone areas to relocate to the camps to reduce the impact of the impending disaster.
What we are doing now, we are well prepared. In case if there is floods, we will have places that we can keep this food and they will be very safe, and then the government will take care of them. Pending when there is the issue of flood, we go and then they will move back to their places.
Commissioner for Education and Knowledge Management, Dr. Frederick Jan, noted that arrangements have been put in place to ensure that learning in the affected schools is not obstructed.
The government is deeply committed to the welfare of the people that may be affected by the flood eventually. So I'm happy that there is a place here that it's not too far away from this community that people need to travel very far to locate.
The Acting Executive Secretary, State Emergency Management Agency, James Opu, thanked the Chidoma and the Bishop of the Otukpo Catholic Diocese for providing the facilities to be used as camps.
I pray that the flood should not come, whereas if it comes, we are appealing to our people to move to safety area.
The proactive measures being put in place is to avoid colossal damage, as it has been the case in other states.
From Otukpo government area, Elias, Etiaf, NTA News.
Hydrological stakeholders have warned people to desist from activities capable of polluting the river and streams in various communities in Nigeria. This was highlighted in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, during the celebration of the 2024 World River Day with the sub-theme, Protect Our Rivers from Pollution. Charles Abba reports that the event was marked at low key due to the fatal flood disasters in Borno State.
The World Health Organization reveals that 75% of diseases are water-related, and that rivers and streams are the major receivers of pollutants from homes, air, and industries. Blessing Emmanuel, a mother of 3, sells fried yam at the bank of the river Benue and speaks on the impurity of the water.
The environment is no good, so maybe by taking this one will bring cholera.
In Benue State, the 2024 World Rivers Day commenced with a sensitization procession by hydrological stakeholders frontlined by the Lower Benue River Basin Development Authority, Makurdi. Managing Director of the authority, Mohammed Adra, emphasized the extent of values rivers and streams add to life and the need to stop their pollution.
When we talk of pollution, we're talking the quality of the water as well as we do. No, but that's not just it. Pollution also blocks its natural flow.
All of us have responsibility to ensure that our rivers are free of pollution by regulating our individual waste.
Other stakeholders indicated that rivers have continued to suffer pollution activities as sewage washing, defecating, bathing, and more. Memorial trees were also planted to mark the day. The Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation approved the celebration of the day in Nigeria. In Makurdi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
And that's it from Makurdi. Nationwide continues with comfort in Enugu. After this break, stay tuned.
Thank you for staying tuned as the news continues in Abuja. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has reassured Nigerians of the commitment of the federal government to deliver dividends of democracy to the citizens. In a press conference to mark the 64th independence anniversary of Nigeria, the SGF says President Tinubu is aware of the hard socio-economic situation Nigerians are going through while efforts are underway to addressing them. He recapped various socio-economic policies introduced by President Bola Tinubu, which he describes as critical to achieving the short-term and long-term national prosperity. The presidential initiative on CNG aimed at reducing high cost of transportation and to cushion the impact of fuel subsidy removal, access to education through student loan scheme, removal of tariffs on importation of staple food items, strengthening the economic backbone, as well as tackling insecurity are some areas of achievements by the president and the present administration, as pointed to by the SGF.
Under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu, the trajectory of our socio-economic development will soar higher in the positive territory. The program of events has been designed to remind us about our strength when we stay united. Progress despite the challenges, the beauty of our diversity, the quantum leap this administration has taken.
Our democracy, now unbroken for nearly a quarter of a century, stands as a testament to the will of the Nigerian people to attain and sustain freedom and liberty for prosperity. Despite some challenges, we have weathered the storm and remained committed to democratic values and showcasing the maturity of the political system.
While the Independence Anniversary activities continue with a special Jumu'at service on Friday, 27th of September at the Abuja National Mosque, a special church service will be held at the Abuja National Christian Center on Sunday, 29th. Meanwhile, the President will address the nation on Tuesday, 1st of October, 2024. Increasing women's participation in political leadership is key to addressing poverty and closing gender gaps. This was the focus during a discussion on the issues facing women in north-central Nigeria. Jonathan Omajali reports.
The call to action. The topic, addressing the intersectionality of poverty and gender in north-central Nigeria.
We need women to be seen and heard in the community when you talk about participation in politics.
Women are the carriers of nation, of families, of everything, societal values and sustainability.
The Minister of Education, represented by the Vice Chancellor of Federal University, Lokoja, highlighted President Tinubu's commitment to women's empowerment through quality education and policies that promote gender equality and poverty reduction.
The federal government, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is deeply committed to tackling these challenges.
For the participants, the message was clear. The time to act is now. In Lokoja, Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
A well-documented register of the birth of every Nigerian child gives the child legal identity and serves as a vital tool for national planning. This informed the sensitization campaign by the National Council for Women's Societies, as members highlight the importance of birth registration of every Nigerian child. Ngozi Teknikyo was there and now reports.
The acting national president explains that as women and mothers, the umbrella body of women's societies will leverage on its established structures and grassroots presence to fast-track the birth registration of 9 million unregistered children in Nigeria by December 2024, a key component of the First Lady's Renewed Hope initiative to achieving the Sustainable Development Goal number 16.
Birth registration is the first legal acknowledgement of a child's existence, essential for safeguarding their rights and privileges, both now and in the future.
Other key players driving the initiative are the National Population Commission and UNICEF, who gave clarifications on some grey areas and factors raised by the women.
We are also already working with the NIMC to ensure that these certificates, we synergize them and we synchronize the data to modify their NIN number to make it the same with what we have on our birth registration database.
So birth registration is extremely important to UNICEF because this is what the first right of any newborn child. It's a right to a name, a right to identity, and to be recognized by the government.
Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
And now to road infrastructure. Bayelsa State is one of the states predicted to experience heavy flooding, and one of the measures being taken to mitigate this is the intervention on roads infrastructure, which is in line with the renewed hope agenda of the federal government. The Federal Road Maintenance Agency has therefore commenced intervention work along Okaki-Kolo Road in Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa State. Doris Akumoye has details.
Bayelsa State, which is geographically located below the sea level, have had its own share of flood devastation, with properties, roads and bridges not spared. One of such visible destruction is the Okaki-Kolo Road, which has been abandoned for years despite several calls by the community to fix the road. Now thanks to FEMA for this intervention work to fix the road, which was a death trap in waiting.
As they can't remember to do this road today, may God bless them. It will even attract more development to the area.
We are trying to see how to prevent the total cutting off of the road before this flood will come.
The intervention work, he said, is being undertaken as direct labor scheme and is going to gainfully engage youth of the community till the completion of the project. From Kolo Ogbia local government area, Doris Akumoye, NTA News.
And elsewhere, Nigerians have been assured of the commitment of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited to boost electricity supply and foster energy security in line with President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. This assurance is coming from the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Jennifer Agidije, who, upon assumption of office, led a team of the company's management to an on-the-spot assessment of the Calabar Generation Company Limited in Cross River State. Maureen Leo Ajom has details.
The Calabar Generation Company Limited, otherwise known as Calabar Power Plant, was commissioned in 2015 and is owned by Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited. The power plant is 634.5 megawatt open cycle gas turbine power plant that can be converted to a combined cycle gas turbines configuration in the future. The new management of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited, led by the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Jennifer Adigije, upon an inspection tour of the plant and engagement with the plant managers and staff, said fostering energy security and bridging electricity access gap to vulnerable Nigerians in underserved communities is one of the cardinal agenda of President Tinubu's administration.
The vision of our new management is to ensure that we foster energy security by bridging electricity access gaps to vulnerable Nigerians in underserved communities.
In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
And a sad one here, as Kwara State High Court has convicted and sentenced Ayoade Akinibosun and 4 others to death by hanging over their involvement in the deadly April 2018 bank robbery in Ofa. About 30 people comprising policemen and civilians were killed during the robbery. Abdulafiz Alias reports is here presented. All right, it seems our report is not ready. We now take this. 60 terrorist commanders have been eliminated in different combat operations across the country. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, announced this at a news conference in Abuja.
It's another bi-weekly defense media operations briefing to highlight ongoing armed forces operations in different theaters. Top is the elimination of notable terrorist commanders thereby deflating the fighting force of the criminal groups.
The troops' offensive actions have culminated in the neutralization of several notable terrorist leaders, commanders, and combatants across all the theaters of operations that we're involved in. 65 senior terrorist leaders were wiped off the battlefield during the third quarter of this year.
Details from the Defense Headquarters show that in the third quarter of 2024, troops eliminated 1,937 terrorists and rescued 1,854 kidnapped victims.
I assure you, all these terrorist leaders that you are hearing their name today, they are dead men walking. Sooner than later, you will hear me on this podium announcing that we've wiped them off the battlefield.
Troops also recovered 1,304 weapons, 43,347 ammunition, while several illegal refining sites were destroyed. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Let's now join Omoyewen Onobun for stories trending in sports.
Enyimba kicked off their 2025 Nigeria Premier League season by defeating Lobe Stars of Makurdi 2-1 in a rescheduled Week 2 match held at the Abatanshi Stadium. This fixture had to be postponed due to Enyimba's participation in continental events. With this win, Enyimba has moved up to 4th place on the standings, amassing 6 points from 2 matches, while Lobe Stars remains in the relegation zone with just a single point. In another rescheduled Week 2 game, defending champions Enugu Rangers delivered a surprising 1-0 defeat to newcomers Ikorodu City in Lagos, keeping their unbeaten streak in the league intact. In alignment with its mission to foster unity, love and peaceful coexistence through sports in Nigeria, the IBB International Golf and Country Club in Abuja is organizing a 1-week event to celebrate Nigeria's 64th independence called the IBB Golf and Tennis Tournament 2024. The festivities commenced Wednesday with participants from various African countries and will culminate on October 1st with an official tee-off at 9 a.m. followed by a dinner and prize presentation at 6 p.m.
We are hopeful that Nigeria will be great again. And that is why the Independence Cup tournament is very dear to our heart in IBB.
We're going to be having the past captains and the past lady captains appreciation kitty. I mean, this is a special kitty for them.
And finally, in tennis, Jack Draper achieved his first singles win since the US Open with a convincing victory over Mattia Bellucci in the opening round of the Japan Open. The 22-year-old took just 1 hour and 10 minutes to achieve a 6-4-6-2 triumph against the qualifier. With sports updates, Omoyemi Onobun, NTA News.
And that's Nationwide today. Many thanks for watching. We appreciate your viewership.